Sean from Maryland. Joe Rogan again displaying how much of an idiot he claims this tyrannical law exists in Australia and then immediately finds out he was following a fake story. His guest says,
yes,
even if it's fake, that's the warning. Like, what? Yeah, we'll play
We'll do that tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's trending right now.
Snakebite Blues. Why, do we have it?
Yeah. Well, I really think we should.
Let's do it.
We got to be timely with this stuff.
All right, let's play this. Okay, so who's the guest here? Now, to be fair,
it's clip 12, Sam.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, the guest is Bryan, who goes by Bryan Sharpe. He's apparently a public speaker who goes by Hotep Jesus is his nickname.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we should say that, look, I think to a large extent, Rogan has backed off all of the COVID misinformation that he was putting out. Well, maybe.
A little bit.
I feel like we would have seen it. But
because all of these right-wing influencer types are suddenly no longer talking about ivermectin anymore, even though it was supposed to be God's gift to humanity, but whatever.
Yeah, it's odd. I wonder what happened. That maybe it was the multiple studies. But
they had to use it.
And look, this is not as dangerous as giving misinformation about COVID, but it is just building this right-wing narrative that we're living in an authoritarian world and naming what is authoritarian things that are not authoritarian. And in fact,
I'll make
don't
a
exist.
case that it is pretty dangerous once we watch the clip.
Right.
But
I want to find out what this is, but I read something briefly and I didn't get into the article. But they were saying that they were trying to pass a bill that would outlaw you growing your own food in Australia.
Oh, my God.
Did you read that?
No.
It was a part of Australia. I think it was New South Wales. Someone was trying to pass a law that won't allow you to grow your own food. And they were saying, well, you could grow your own food, and what if the disease is from your food? It infects the population, kills us all.
Oh,
we can't have that.
Oh, they pulled that card.
I want to know what their justification was, but I'm pretty sure it had to do with agricultural contamination or, you could justify it if you're a real piece of shit. You could say, well, most pandemics have come from agriculture, animal agriculture. We can't have unchecked pig ownership. That's not fair. We can't if you're growing vegetables. What if your vegetables have ergot in them and diseases? Fucking creeps, man. These fucking creeps, they got a good grip on people during the pandemic. They locked everybody down in Australia, and then you know what? We're going to stop these motherfuckers from growing their own food. Because that's how you fucking smoke out an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
You can't even go to the grocery store anymore, and you can't grow your food.
No, dependent.
Take that shot, bitch. Did you find anything?
You are now dependent upon the state.
You know what's amazing? Pause it.
Hold on.
So I just started to Google this now. Now, maybe he recorded this a couple of days ago. When was this live?
It was released last Thursday.
It was released last Thursday. Okay, so there's now fact checks about this that was out there. But just keep in mind, well, all right, go ahead.
He realizes in real time that they can't find anything.
Yeah.
Passes bill.
I know what to look for. Nothing's coming up. The closest thing I could find was something like this. That's not
New
what
food. No,
you
it's
were
not.
saying.
It's not New Zealand. It's in Australia.
I know, but this is close.
New Zealand is right around the corner.
Could have.
Oh my God, guys!
It's got to be a real thing. It seems too good to not be.
It's obviously.
I typed in outlaw growing food in Australia, and not a single thing comes up.
Hold on.
Except for that, which was a false thing.
Growing your own food.
They want us.
He's fired.
Completely dependent.
Hotep Jesus is now Googling.
I got some more on Hotep
I
Jesus,
can't find
by
it
the
either.
way.
Oh,
Damn
no.
it.
Damn it.
Better not be fake.
All right, that's key.
It might be fake.
Yeah.
But
man.
even if it's fake, right? The fake is usually the warning.
Huh?
Okay, so let's
Say
pull up
what?
this thread from an NBC producer who looked into this, where he found this. Okay.
Is it Babylon?
Brandy Zadrozny looked into this a little bit. She said, okay, I've got a minute. Why does Joe Rogan think Australia is trying to make growing your own food illegal? Let's investigate. He's not alone. Twitter search shows lots of folks claiming the same. A lot of the videos and tweets include this screenshot from something called Apex World News. So what is Apex World News? The account is a typical breaking news type of misinformation account, no ownership listed, spammy and unverified content. It does list a website, but which expired. To the way back, site looks junky, serves ads, and much of the content is authored by Grace Siwali. There's a person on Twitter with this name, not linking, but she shares a lot of Apex World News, blah, blah, blah. She's deeply religious and a fan of at least one particular preacher. So this is a guy that preaches prosperity gospel.
Wow.
Long story short, this is just a junk news site that he got this from. It's essentially Facebook memes. They were being shared, everywhere, making the same claim. And why I think this is important is because this is just like downstream from New World Order conspiracy, where they're trying to rope in these wellness people who might be like, I want my food to be as pure as possible. Right. I buy organic, non-GMO, etc. It's all a conspiracy that everything in my food is going to be tainted with pharmaceuticals, with bacteria. That's the same reason why I didn't get the vaccine. That's why he talks about anti-vax stuff there. It's all a globalist conspiracy to control you. And where else did we hear this in the news today? This kind of thinking. The shooter, the mass shooter. Yeah. This is he's appealing to these same kinds of people. And like I'm done giving him the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, maybe it's unknowing and he's always trafficked in conspiracy theories and this kind of stuff is lucrative. I understand that. But it works in tandem with what we saw with this mass shooter, and it's dangerous.
Well, he's playing to people's vulnerabilities. I mean, there's a podcast called Conspirituality. I definitely recommend people check it out, where not only do they talk about this strategy and playing dumb, like, oh, I didn't know. I don't even know for sure if he saw this and didn't think it was news, or if he's actually trying to insert it into people's mindsets. And then it's like, oh, fact checking at the end. No one reads the fact checks, but they read the conspiracy. They read the inaccuracy.
I genuinely think that the reason why he traffics in this is because he's one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't think he's doing this cynically. I still go back to, this is someone who is in over their head, who doesn't want to even put in 15 minutes worth of work to actually assess whether that's true or not. Like,
the difference is there's too much pressure on him, Sam. He's not just a guy in his basement that got really popular anymore. He is a guy who has a company that's being pressured, workers that are being threatening to quit because of his inaccuracies. He has pressure from folks all around him. At this point, this is intentional. You have editors, you have people in your room producing. This is not under the radar anymore.
I don't think it's not. I think there is it's a complete absence of intentionality. He does not think that he has the slightest bit of responsibility to actually know what he's talking about anything.
But it's also indicative of where he gets his information.
Exactly.
That he's just spouting off.
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
I think it's the conversation.
I'm not defending him at all. I'm just saying I'm just making an analysis of where this is coming
where
from.
He's getting his information from. Like, this is bonkers, batshit stuff. Like, really scary, tip of the iceberg, rabbit hole conspiracy theory stuff about new world orders that is rife with anti-Semitism and all of the implications that come from that. Sure. I mean, he's trying to appeal to it's another piece of evidence of the congealing of the wellness parts of the wellness community, the anti-vax community, and like these conspiratorial online people that think that there's this large world order run by Jews, run by elites, etc., that are coming for you. And he's appealing to that on the mainstream.
It is an intention, though. It's not an accident. Yes, you can mimic a style, but this is something that Steve Bannon has created a playbook for, and people are mimicking it. It is not something that is, they're mimicking it accidentally because they're part of that community. This is a man who puts intention into his show because he needs to make sure that he hits certain numbers, expands his community. He chooses to have Alex Jones on. He chooses to have, other conspiracy theorists on. That is not an accident. It's not about we have a conspiracy theorist on and we have Bernie Sanders.
Who is this guy that you say, Matt?
Yeah, so I got some info on Bryan Sharpe, born in Brooklyn, New York.
This is the guest.
He went on to work marketer for 50 Cent's energy drink, and it was during his involvement in the hip-hop industry that he experienced a spiritual awakening. In 2019, he appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast to share his views on Black history. Views. This is from Historical Wiki. On his interview with Joe Rogan, he claimed that African Americans were raised to have a, quote, fetus mentality of seeing white people as oppressors and having a, quote, slave mentality. And he believed that the way to uplift the community would be to educate them on pre-slavery Black history, such as Queen Angola and Songhai Emperor. He also said, before we were slaves, I'm trying to find the part where he denied, here it is. He was known for his fringe conspiracy theories, which he claimed came mostly from his own common sense, that the Atlantic slave trade was a myth and was financially unfeasible, that the vast majority of African Americans were original Native Americans. So this is just the type of black guy that Joe Rogan has on.
Yeah, and I think, this is why I say he's over his head, because this is the guy, he was doing the exact same show 7-8 years ago. It's just that now it's a problem because he's got such a big audience. Then it was just like he's just getting high.
Same.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, as he got bigger, he could have the guest that he always wanted. But this is the guy. This is the guy.
4 years ago that he just reproduced there's a white genocide going on in South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, he just this is he's always been doing this.
He's a dupe for right-wing propaganda.
Without a doubt.
It's become more. It's become more funneled and more streamlined now.
Well, it's. I mean, it's
and more extreme.
I think it's just because we.
He's had Douglas Murray on for years. He's always been doing.
It's just the difference is now he's got millions of followers and it's having
and he's
a big
only
impact.
having this. I mean, maybe I'm giving it too much credit or whatever.
Well, it's not a matter of credit. it's still just as problematic. But it's important to understand, in my estimation, where it's coming from, and this, because this is they can say at Spotify, this is we're at the point where it has to be Spotify is willing to have a show where 11 million, 12 million, however millions of people watch it, where they don't care whether this guy is putting out disinformation. It doesn't matter. I happen to think that he's just putting out disinformation because he's lazy. He doesn't give a shit. He's attracted to his story. He says it. And he's like, it's a mistake. And then, of course, this person says, well, it may actually be fake, but that's also the fact that it could be fake is indicative of where we could be going. This would be all well and good.
Because he said it better not be fake. It better not be. Right, so I'm going to work backwards from it not being fake. But the guy he's having on there and the conspiracy theory I described at the start of this, they work hand in hand.
Yes,
they work hand in hand. And this is
I don't think it's an accident.
And you mentioned Steve Bannon. This is exactly the very online guys that he's trying to target. Yes. This is it.
I'm sorry. He may have started his show 10 years ago when this experiment started. I say experiment. It's a political experiment of Steve Bannon.
He is not. I'm telling you. I know the context in the exact situation in which he started the show. He got high with his friends and he stumbled onto this stuff.